Now, in the drill down segment, we drill down on the nitty gritty, into the nuts and bolts, into the very essence of a tech stock in our universe. So before we talk to Infineon CEO Peter Bauer, let's drill down on Infineon. Now, Infineon is an analog chip maker that's been through many incarnations. If you used to know Infineon, well, it ain't like that anymore. Gone is the commoditized DRAM business. Gone is the smartphone business sold to Intel. Wall Street has seen this as addition by subtraction, bidding the stock up 79% in the last year. But stock charts are a Wall Street story. The technology story is more disconcerting. And here's why. Infineon has a hell of a time, and historically has had a hell of a time, making money. If you look at 6 years of free cash flow, you don't see a lot of free cash flow. You see free cash burn. You can call that an inferno if you want. But the least of those negative numbers shows $227 million in annual loss. Positive free cash flow, that usually happens when Infineon's selling assets. But that's also the hope for this business, casting off the binds of crummy businesses that might free Infineon. So you can see that too, looking at improving capital expenditures or lowering costs in capital expenditures. Analog chip fabrication is cheaper than most other chip fabrication. And when you see the CapEx number improve, it gives hope that the worst of Infineon is in the rearview mirror. Emily?
Cory, and now we're joined by Infineon CEO Peter Bauer here in San Francisco, all the way from Munich. Great to have you here on Bloomberg West. So first question, Infineon has lost money 8 out of the last 10 years. How will the next 10 years be any different?
They will definitely be profitable growth because we have changed the company massively. And the company now is serving markets which will have demand, especially in the emerging countries, and the reduced energy consumption we have to realize will be served by our semiconductors. So I'm pretty sure we turn that around. So
you recently sold your smartphone business to Intel. Why get out of mobile when smartphones are by all accounts the future?
We had a very razor-sharp focus on the modem and RF side of the smartphone business. In the future, you have to combine that with application processing. Intel was the ideal partner for that. So we sold it to them in order to concentrate on businesses I just mentioned, the automobile market, the electrified automobile market, the industrial markets, which are dealing with energy efficiency and security.
Let me ask you about this cycle. This cycle is the endless question when it comes to chip companies, but it seems that the way that the industry is diversified away from computer refreshes, and you've also got car makers and the like, so important in your business mix. Is Infineon able to divorce itself from the historic cycle as it relates to the chip industry?
I don't understand him.
Cory, can you just speak up?
I don't understand him.
Yeah, sorry, I'm asking about the cycle. Can you guys get away from the semiconductor cycle and have your own kind of innovation that's separate from the cycle itself?
Yes, to a certain degree. The more than more business is somewhat independent from the volatility the semiconductor market has in itself. So we are dependent on the macroeconomic cycle. So how many cars are sold, how many industrial machines are sold, machinery industry in general. But we don't have the typical consumer cycles the DRAM market has or the communications market has. Therefore, when we believe that the worldwide car market goes up in the next years, we will profit from that and grow our business. So it's worthwhile to invest in that.
You've turned the business around this year in part because of a comeback in the car industry. How do you plan to grow the business next year?
We will look in the car industry for new applications. There's a lot of components in the car which can be electrified, steering, pumps, HVAC, but especially the powertrain itself. And on the industrial side, there's new applications like LED lighting, renewable energy, which even has doubled last year compared to the previous year. So there's more applications coming up which will fuel the growth.
I want to talk a little bit about electric bikes. I lived in China for several years and I rode an electric bike. You're in one of 3 electric bikes. Where do you see that market going?
I even believe it will grow outside China. I mean, China is a bicycle country, of course, but it will grow outside because it's an emission-free vehicle for mass transport. And we are in there with the microcontrollers. There's a lot of power components in there as well, which we can deploy. So I think it will be another growth opportunity worldwide.
The future, we know, is more chips in cars, especially with the push to hybrid and electric vehicles. But consumers really haven't picked up on that yet because the price of these cars hasn't really been right. Do you see that changing?
I believe that the price will come down typically by mass production price will come down rapidly. So the issue at the moment is the battery, not so much the power electronics. Power electronics provide the innovation for the cars in their usage, but the battery will come down with the volume. So as soon as the battery reaches some $300-400 US per kilowatt hour, I believe that's the equilibrium where the cars become commercially attractive as well.
All right, thank you so much. Peter Bauer, CEO of Infineon, in town from Munich. Great to have you.
Thank you very much.